I never imagined that my own sister would hate me so much that she would ban me from her wedding. But she did, and I will never forget how painful her words were. Emma, I don't want you there. You ruin everything. She didn't even say it in anger. There was no argument, no shouting. She just said it like it was the most normal thing in the world, as if she were commenting on the weather. As if my presence, my very existence, was a flaw, an imperfection that would stain the perfect day she had planned so carefully. I stood there, gripping the edge of my chair so tightly that my fingers turned white. My heart pounded, a heavy, sickening rhythm in my chest. I felt frozen, like the words had locked me in place. I was too shocked to cry, too stunned to even feel angry. My mouth was dry, and my mind scrambled to make sense of what she had just said. After what felt like an eternity, I finally managed to whisper, "What?" Julia sighed, like she was already exhausted with me, like my presence alone was a burden she was tired of carrying. She crossed her arms, tilting her head slightly, her diamond engagement ring catching the light, glinting in a way that almost felt mocking. "You heard me," she said, her voice flat and certain. "I don't want you at my wedding." I swallowed hard, forcing my voice to stay steady. "Julia, I'm your sister." She didn't even flinch. No hesitation, no guilt, no second thoughts. Instead, her lips curled into something close to a smirk. "And?" she said. "That doesn't mean I have to invite you. You've always been dramatic, always making things about you. I won't let you ruin this for me." Ruin it? I stared at her, my mind racing. Had I done something wrong? Had I ever made one of her special moments about me? I had always supported her, always been there when she needed me. Just I was the one who stayed up late, listening to her cry over failed relationships. I was the one who helped her pack and unpack every time she moved apartments, more times than I could even count. I had been by her side for every heartbreak, every moment of self-doubt. And now she was telling me that she didn't even want me at her wedding? I searched her face, looking for some sign that this was a joke, that she would laugh, roll her eyes, and say she was just messing with me. But there was nothing. Her expression was cold, detached, like I didn't matter, like I never had. Tears burned at the edges of my eyes, but I forced them back. I would not cry in front of her. I would not give her the satisfaction of seeing me break. "Does Mom know?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. Julia shrugged, completely unbothered. "She agrees with me. She doesn't want any drama either. That hurt more than anything else." I had always known I was different from the rest of my family. I was the black sheep, the one who never quite fit the polished, perfect image they loved to present to the world. Julia, with her flawless grades, her perfect circle of friends, and now her ideal fiancé, had always been their favorite. She was the golden child, the one who could do no wrong. And me? I was just the afterthought, the one who never measured up. But I had never thought they would actually cut me out completely. I wanted to scream at her. I wanted to demand an explanation, to make her tell me what I had done to deserve this. But deep down, I already knew the answer. I wasn't like her. I wasn't perfect. And in her perfect world, there was no place for me. I turned and walked away without another word. My heart felt like it was breaking into 1,000 tiny pieces, each one cutting deeper than the last. My hands were shaking. My legs felt weak, but I refused to let her see me crumble. I got into my car and started driving, not even sure where I was going. The streets blurred together, my vision clouded by unshed tears. My whole life, I had tried so hard to be enough, to be seen, to be loved by my own family. And for what? For them to discard me like I was nothing? For them to pretend I didn't exist? The humiliation, the pain, the sadness, it all burned inside me, growing hotter and hotter until it wasn't just pain anymore. It wasn't just heartbreak. It was something sharper, something stronger, a slow, burning determination. If Julia wanted a wedding without me, then fine, but she wasn't going to have a wedding at all. I didn't start out planning revenge. At first, I just wanted to see where she was getting married. Maybe it was morbid curiosity. Maybe I just wanted to understand how she could celebrate one of the biggest days of her life without me. I told myself I only wanted to look, to see the place where she would be surrounded by family, friends, and love, while I was left out. I expected it to be nice. Julia had expensive taste, and she always loved grand things. But when I actually saw the venue, I felt like I had been punched in the gut. It wasn't just nice. It was the most luxurious venue in town. The kind of place where celebrities got married, where fairy tale weddings happened. The chandeliers alone probably cost more than my entire apartment. The entrance had a grand staircase made of polished marble, and the ballroom was decorated with gold accents and towering floral arrangements. It was breathtaking. Perfect. Exactly the kind of place Julia would want. I stood outside the gates, staring at the massive, elegant building, and I felt a strange mix of emotions. How could she afford this? Julia had a good job, but she wasn't rich. Neither was her fiancé. And while our parents had always favored her, they weren't the type to spend a fortune on a wedding. Yet somehow she had managed to secure a place like this. Then again, Julia had always gotten what she wanted. That's when the thought hit me. Could I take it from her? The idea was ridiculous. It was insane. The kind of thought that should have disappeared as quickly as it came, but instead it stayed. It grew. I had money, not an unlimited amount, but enough. A savings account I had carefully built over the years, and an inheritance from my late grandmother, one I had never touched because I never felt like I deserved it. But now I didn't care. I pulled out my phone and called the venue. My hands were shaking, but my voice was steady when a receptionist answered. Hello. Thank you for calling the Grand Pearl Estate. How can I assist you today? I took a breath. Hi, I'm looking for a last-minute venue for my wedding, something elegant and high-end. Do you have any openings? I could almost hear the receptionist perk up at the word high-end. She launched into a list of available dates, but I wasn't listening. I needed one specific date. Has anyone booked the 15th yet? I asked, trying to sound casual. There was a pause, a slight hesitation. Then she said, There is a reservation, but it hasn't been paid in full yet. My heart pounded so hard I thought it might break my ribs. That was Julia's wedding date. She had reserved it, but she hadn't paid for it. That meant it wasn't fully hers. How much would it take to book it right now? I asked, forcing my voice to stay calm as if I were just another bride who had fallen in love with the venue. The receptionist gave me a number. A huge number. The kind of sum that made my stomach flip. It was more than I had ever spent on anything in my life. But I could afford it. Just barely. I hesitated for only a second. Then I gripped my phone tighter and said, I'll pay in full today. My voice was firm, unshakable. The receptionist let out a delighted little gasp. Oh, wonderful. We'll send over the paperwork right away. And just like that, the venue was mine. The screaming started 2 days later. Julia called me, her voice shaking with fury and disbelief. What did you do? I kept my voice calm, pretending I had no idea what she was talking about. What do you mean? Don't play dumb, Emma, she shrieked. I just got a call from the venue. They said my booking was canceled because someone else bought out the entire day. I pressed my lips together to stop myself from laughing. Wow, that's terrible. There was a pause, then her voice exploded through the phone. It was you, wasn't it? I tilted my head, letting my voice turn sweet and innocent. Why would I do that? I know it was you, she screamed, her voice cracking with rage. I let the silence stretch between us, letting her anger build, feeding off the tension. Then finally I whispered, Guess you should have invited me. The sound that came from her wasn't even words. It was pure, raw fury. A strangled, frustrated noise of someone who had just lost everything. You are the most vindictive, horrible. I cut her off smoothly. Careful, Julia, I said, my voice suddenly sharp. Wouldn't want to cause drama, would you? Silence. Then a click. She had hung up on me. I stared at my phone, waiting for it to ring again. I expected her to call back, screaming even louder, or for my mother to call, demanding to know what had happened. But instead, a text popped up. From Mom, You've really done it this time, Emma. I hope you're happy. No yelling, no questions, no asking for my side of the story, just blame. That should have hurt. Maybe deep down it did. But mostly, I felt free. Julia did find another venue. It wasn't nearly as fancy, and she had to delay her wedding by 3 months just to make it work. And me? I never showed up, of course. I wasn't invited. But I made sure to book myself a luxury spa day on the same date she was supposed to get married. Was it petty? Maybe. But after years of being treated like I didn't matter, It felt like justice. And the best part? I heard her marriage didn't even last a year.